The discovery of oil was one of the most impactful milestones in Southern California's modern history.
In tonight's Look at This, our Desmond Shaw is over an important piece of that history near Santa Clarita.
Well, take a look at this settlement in Stevenson Ranch. This is Mentryville, and it's a park and a ghost town that holds the history of California's and the entire western U.S.'s very first oil boom. We just happened to be here during what looks like a movie shoot. It's definitely been popular with Hollywood over the decades, but most of the structures you see here go back to the late 1800s. The Santa Clarita Historical Society says it was in the fall of 1876 when French immigrant Charles Alexander Mentry struck black gold. Now, it must be said that others had discovered oil here previously, but that was just oil that flowed from the surface, and at the time it had limited uses. It was Mentry's oil derrick known as Pico Number 4 that drilled down about 600 feet here in Pico Canyon, some 4 miles west of the modern-day 5 freeway. And it was not only the first commercially successful oil well in the western U.S., but would actually go on to be the longest-running oil well in the world until it was finally capped in 1990. Not long after oil was discovered here, workers flocked to the canyon for a good paycheck with their families. And by 1880, 100-plus families were living in the canyon, some in makeshift tents while others built cabins. A boomtown was born named Mentryville for the speculator and oil field superintendent who hit pay dirt here. He built the 13-room mansion, too, which is still here today. And at its height, the L.A. Times says Mentryville had a schoolhouse, a social hall, a bakery, and even a gas-lit tennis court and croquet fields. Sadly, Mentry died in 1900. He was only 53. The little boomtown began to slide after his death, and by the 1930s, most people had packed up their belongings and torn down their buildings and moved on. But the well still produced under the ownership of Standard Oil, and it was a worker named Francis Lagasse who dissuaded the company from tearing down the mansion and other buildings and instead allow him to restore them. Mentryville and its surrounding land would be donated to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservatory for preservation, and now you can come and walk around up here and even peek through the windows, kind of get an idea of what it would be like to be in California's very first oil boomtown. A very important piece of SoCal history tucked deep into Pico Canyon. Thanks to Jill Pop for telling me to check out Mentryville from SkyCal. I'm Desmond Shaw.
And if you'd like Desmond to take a look at something interesting in your neighborhood, just write us at lookathis@cbs.com.